So to get back to your original question, I ended up losing sole medical authority because despite having never had a diagnosis of gender dysphoria, and now Andrea Binner, poof, went away into the sunset. She just sailed away into the sunset. I was still court ordered to take my child to a psychosexual therapist. But the true catalyst, to your point, Kevin, was when I received that letter in the mail from the school addressed to the parent or guardian of Ruby Rose, Hannon, and that's not my son's name. And so I thought that maybe they had the wrong child, but the address was correct on the letterhead, so I opened it anyways, and I was shocked to realize that my son had already been socially transitioned. They refer to him exclusively as female pronouns. It was she, this, or that. So I did start a nonprofit organization out of Florida called Indoctrinate This Incorporated. And we expose teachers, educators, anybody that's in a public official or a person of influence that's grooming and indoctrinating children. We expose them. We teach parents. Ultimately the goal would Indoctrinate This. It's a nonprofit. None of our board members take a paycheck from this. We all have 9-to-5 jobs. But the goal with this is to help provide a platform for parents that are going through similar situations for support, because I didn't have any of that when I went through this. So support is huge, sharing experiences, but raising awareness about these things and holding people accountable. This started between the ages of 2 to 4. That this grooming started taking place, and I had no idea. And he was actually seeing a gender therapist by the name of Andrea Binner, who is described as a gender affirming care specialist with adolescents. And I was never a part of this. I was the last to know. I found out after the fact through court proceedings and discovery.
Now, if I recall correctly from what you said, there was never, though, even with this therapist, who I believe, if I recall correctly, is out of Rochester. Is that correct?
I don't know where she's out of. And it's funny because by the time I found out about who she was and what she was doing, it was like she just disappeared. It was like poof, into the sunset. She was gone. But that didn't stop her. She was using gender affirming care. A formal diagnosis of gender dysphoria was never made for my child. He's never been diagnosed with gender dysphoria. However, she was practicing gender affirming care with him using female pronouns. Maybe she was using the name Ruby at the time. I don't recall that information because it also came out. She refused to subpoena at least once through the Supreme Court. She kept no notes of any therapy visits at all. No notes. So I don't know what was being discussed. I don't know exactly what was taking place in those meetings.